It's unquestionably a very neat looking knife. It might be more along the lines of neat looking than practical, but I still rather like it a lot. Now, the blade itself, at least in my opinion, was a little on the dull side. It wasn't dull, but it wasn't anywhere as sharp as I normally like to keep my knives. So I went ahead and did sharpen it up. It didn't take much, though. It does take an edge pretty well. I mean, I just used a simple desktop sharpener on the fine, about half a dozen passes, and it picked up that extra bit of edge that I like. You know, it still won't shave hairs off my arm. I would have to actually put some more work on it before I got to that level, but half a dozen passes, and it was a definite improvement. Now, as for the tension release, it's a bit soft on the tension release. I'll go ahead and show you. I mean, it still has a snap to it. It's just, but it doesn't quite have that boom feel that I normally get off these kind of tension-assisted knives. It's just there is a bit of a soft, squishy feeling as you bring it in, and then when you pop it out, it just doesn't quite have that lock, but it still, as you can see, works well enough. One aspect, though, I do find a little fiddly is that the screws here are not really flush in the body, and they're very, very, very distinct to the touch if you're bringing your hand across it. Yeah, they do jut out just a bit to actually just slightly catch on the skin. I might just go ahead and take a file, especially this one. This one seems to be the most prominent one. Take a file and just maybe smooth it out. In fact, when you're looking at the side, you can actually see how that one screw does stick out quite a bit. So, well, I might have to fiddle with that. Then the light. The light works. However, this is the second time I've seen these little battery lights. The first one was actually kind of awful. It was a knife from like last year, and it was like one of these little swing out ones, and it was actually kind of ridiculous, to tell you the truth. This, the way it's integrated directly in the body, is kind of cool, but it's still a bit fiddly. There's a piece of cardboard in there that I put back in, and I'm going ahead and unscrew this and take that piece of cardboard out so you can make contact with the battery. There it is, but I'm not losing that. I'm not throwing that away. That is simply because kind of like the last knife that had one of these little lights. Thing is that the only way you turn it on and off is by unscrewing it or screwing it. I'm bringing it all the way in, and boom, there you go. So, and it works. You know, it's a little flashlight. It works. But the thing is that when you want to turn it off, like I said, you gotta unscrew it. But what happens is that it makes the flashlight just a little wobbly and loose, and I don't really care for that. They need to basically just make a sort of a thumb switch or something here so you can turn it on and off without having to do that. You just take it for what it's worth. Personally, I think the flashlight is neat, but I'm going to go ahead and put that little piece of cardboard back in there and just leave it in there. And if I ever do, for any reason, need the flashlight, I'll just have to go through the process of unscrewing it first, taking out the little piece of cardboard, hope I don't lose it, and then we'll have it. Or, you know what, just use an actual flashlight. There's that, though. That's just my opinion. Get that screwed back in. And then, of course, you got the seatbelt cutter. Now, this is just my opinion. The seatbelt cutter, nice, what have you. Okay, there it is, typical razor blade style. But the teeth on this, the saw teeth on this, is more than sufficient as a seatbelt cutter. It's got a nice, wicked edge to it. That will cut through a seatbelt quicker probably than that will. I'm serious. But there it is. It's there. And I guess this can kind of double as a window breaker nib there. And all in all, like I said, it's very neat looking. And I like it, just because I am kind of attracted to that sort of thing. But it's got a little bit of novelty fluff to it as well. So there you have it, though, for your consideration. You guys have yourself a great one. It's unquestionably a very neat-looking knife. It might be more along the lines of neat-looking than practical, but I still rather like it a lot. Now, the blade itself, at least in my opinion, was a little on the dull side. It wasn't dull, but it wasn't anywhere as sharp as I normally like to keep my knives. So I went ahead and did sharpen it up. It did